Hey, welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I'm your host, John Losova. Joining me, as always, are my beautiful co-hosts, Mark Hoffmeyer and John Levingood.
Oh, yes, I am beautiful.
Both of us feeling beautiful.
I just want everyone to know at home that right now I am doing Blue Steel Magnum La Tigra combo. I've managed to blend all three into one look.
Yeah, we're currently all on the Skype call, and Mark is he's just totally dominating the group video call right now.
See, if I just did Magnum alone, the computer would freeze, so I have to kind of do a hybrid.
Right. No, it looks good. I can't keep my eyes off you, actually.
Everyone right now is not picturing someone good looking at the other end of this podcast. They're picturing like these 300-pounders who are not doing Blue Steel. They're doing Blue Double Pepperoni.
Well,
and Mountain Dew.
Speak for yourself, Levingood.
a 2 liter of Mountain Dew,
like in one hand, and then you got the two pieces of pizza on top of one another being eaten at once
inside a calzone.
That's right. Oh, it sounds awesome, actually.
No, I'm hungry, guys.
Yeah. I know. I like to think that, like, whenever someone hears my voice, they happen to picture like a Kurt Russell type figure. That's just my thoughts. Though.
I imagine male-on-male phone sex.
Male-on-male phone sex. Right. Anyway, let's.
Thanks for that, John.
Yep. That's what I'm here for.
That's okay. So there's no way I can make a natural segue to this, but I'm just gonna say it. Let's start off this episode with viewer questions. Actually.
Oh, excellent. We actually have viewers. That's good to know. That's comforting.
No, last week was great. I thought the questions were pretty amazing. Actually, when Levingood started crying about his Desert Island movies, I feel like we really had a breakthrough on this podcast.
It just made me think of my dad.
We had for all of you at home, we had to, shut the pod down for about an hour while John wept uncontrollably.
It was pretty awkward, actually.
I did channel my Fight Club power animal, which is not a penguin. It's not a penguin. It's in fact Ryan Reynolds is my power animal. Right. I just imagine him.
You know what my happy place is? The Blues Brothers at Universal Studios, watching them perform.
Really?
My happy place would be where the Smurfs live.
The what?
Where the Smurfs lives. The Smurfs.
Would you be your size or would you be their size?
I'd have to be their size to appreciate it.
So would you be blue or would you just be you?
I'd be blue, I guess.
So a blue you running around.
I don't know, Levingood. You kind of look like Gargamel.
That doesn't even make sense. Viewers should listen. Nobody looks like Gargamel.
Yeah, I just said you do.
I want to see a Smurf do Blue Steel.
It just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, mind blown.
All right, let's get to the first question. Chuck Finley 92 asks, "Dear MFF, Toby has some serious backbreaking skills. Who would win a fight between Toby and the Babadook?"
Hey, Levingood, do you want to explain who Toby is?
So Toby, anyone who watched the Paranormal Activity series, if you liked the series, you probably stopped liking it at part 3. If you say you didn't like the series, you probably started liking it at part 3. That seems to be the way people go. But however the case, part 3 was when they introduced Toby, who is the jerk face of a poltergeist that evidently broke the dad and the family's back. Like, he was just a jerk, that Toby.
Yeah, he was terrible. And the first film, he actually was pretty scary. But then in the third film, they named him Toby, and all fear went out the window. So I would disqualify Toby. But the problem with the Babadook is that I can't really get into the Babadook without spoiling the Babadook.
Oh, no, this is where we just say spoiler alert, and then they can hit mute for like 90 seconds.
I've already seen the movie, so spoil away.
All right, spoiler alert. The Babadook isn't real. It's a woman's broken psyche, which she later comes to terms with. I hope I'm right. That's the impression I got. So I'm going to have to call it. You know what's going to happen? There's going to be a surprise entry. It's a troll from Ernest Scared Stupid.
Right.
He's going to turn the woman in the Babadook's kid into a wooden toy. He's going to get those two girls when they're young, turn them into little wooden toys, and the whole movie is done. Problem solved. Troll wins.
Wait, hold on now. So the Babadook is the manifestation of a woman's tortured psyche. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go with the crazy woman any day of the week against anything. Okay,
So you would say, okay. So Hotmire says Toby would win.
No.
Oh, the Babadook.
Toby's the worst.
Okay.
Toby's just a little jerk. And in the first movie, he was kind of evil, but then he becomes a jerk. I just can't get behind jerky demons.
Right. Or aren't they all kind of jerky though? Like, I've never met like a good kind of, or not met. I've never seen like a good demon.
But it's not the jerk that you laugh at when the jerk is being a jerk to jerk victims in the movie. This is the jerk you just hate, like the older brother from Weird Science. Played by Bill
I
Paxton.
hate that guy.
Like exactly. You just get all snarly when you see him. You get angry. But other times when you see someone being a jerk, it's kind of funny. Like when what's the movie, Mark? The John Cusack movie where there's a guy who's always saying "Buenos dias."
Oh my God!
Is that Better Off Dead?
I remember the Howard Cosell racers. I remember the $2 kid. That was better. I don't remember the Buenos Dias.
But you see, like the John Cusack movies, they had jerks that were kind of fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, oh, that jerk, but you laugh. You laugh at what they do.
Yeah, so I just can't get behind it. So if I had to call it, I would say the Babadook.
Right. And Lemon, you agree?
Absolutely. Crazy lady wins.
And Lazavath, what did you write the other day about the Babadook? How many dukes would the Babadooks duke if the Babadooks could duke?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the answer to that question, by the way.
Did you come up with that?
What? No, no. Yeah, I came up with that.
Did you really?
No, okay.
I'm stealing it.
He found it on Reddit. I'll bet he found it on Reddit.
Probably. No,
everything
I think
is on Reddit first. Everything is.
I think in a fight between Babadook and Toby, I'll pick Toby in a second with a rear naked choke.
Did you say a rear naked choke?
Yeah.
With a
in the second.
With a jerky leg drag.
Yeah. All right. So, question number 2. Robin Williams Knuckle asks, Dear MFF, I understand a reboot of The Craft is being considered. Who would you cast as 4 misfit high school witches?
Who is that Alexandria Daddario? She was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and True Detective. She seems to have the dark hair horror vibe down.
She has a lot of things down. Yeah, I agree. I'm a fan of hers.
So who do you have, John?
You know, like I came up with 3, not 4. I couldn't come up with all 4, but she's a good one. So here's my 4. I only know one of the actresses' names. First actress, Addison Timlin. She was the girlfriend from Odd Thomas, and also the booty call of Zac Efron in That Awkward Moment.
That is an underrated film, Odd Thomas. I really enjoyed that.
And she was great as a spunky, wholesome girlfriend. Like, you could tell that, like, you know, she was giving him looks. And it was almost like Bo Peep and Woody in Toy Story, where all the parents know there's some serious sexual innuendo going, but it's still okay for the kids to watch. And that's like what Odd Thomas was doing. It's like if Disney did a PG-13 horror movie and kept all the family-friendly, wholesome, spunky characters, but then you got Addison Timlin throwing in a little bit of like PG sexiness.
So then we have Daddario, Timlin. Who's next?
So I've got, actually also from That Awkward Moment was Zac Efron's love interest, the hipster artist chick. I can't think of her name.
Imogen Poots.
Oh, Imogen Poots.
She is fantastic.
I think she'd be great as like the more quiet, squirrely one who then gets a little crazy.
She was real. I liked her a lot in Need for Speed and Long Way Down. She has great chemistry with Aaron Paul. So yeah, this is a solid cast.
All right. I got one more. It's the girl who plays the fake, you know, the fraudulent fortune teller in American Horror Story right now. She was also in Coven. The blonde.
Is that her name? Is this Reservoir Dogs?
This is it's the young blonde girl. She plays the fortune teller, the fake fortune teller in American Horror Story. I don't know her name.
All right, so Lazavath, we have Imogen Poots, Alexandra Daddario,
Addison.
and Addison Timlin.
I'm going to be completely honest.
Okay, so you don't want my horror story girl. Fine.
No, I did. We just don't know her name, so I went.
I got you.
I'm going to be honest. I have absolutely no idea who any of these people are.
Alex, did you see the new Texas Chainsaw movie?
No, Did
you see
True
Did
Detective?
you see the trailer for it?
I might have.
Did you see the cover of it on Netflix?
I'm getting the feeling you're just going to tell me she's really hot.
She's really hot.
Is that the gist of it?
She's really hot.
Have you seen Percy Jackson?
Percy? No. Was that
Oh, that's right. That was her.
Yeah. All right. What do we got, John?
Oh, you're asking.
Yeah. What's the next question? I'm chomping at the bit.
All right.
Next viewer asks.
McMuffin ask.
McLovin?
No, McMuffin.
Oh, McMuffin.
On a recent podcast, Lasso said his dream cinematic job would be working as the bouncer as the bar where Demi Moore worked in striptease. Been there, done that. Mark and John, what cinematic job would you want?
All right. So, as a teenager into my mid-20s, I would love to work at Empire Records. That would be my dream job. If you think about it, the movie starts with a guy losing all the money. They keep him on, and then they just raise the money by throwing a rock show. So basically, you can get away with everything, listen to a bunch of music, hang out with a bunch of cool, grungy folk. Yeah, I would do Empire Records in a heartbeat.
Okay, it's got to be. Basically, I came up with a tie. So for me, it's to be one of those elder judges, those old like kung fu experts or whatever that were overseeing all the fights in Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport and the Kumite, right? Because they get to see all these fights go down, and these fighters from all over have to bow to them and pay homage. But for people who don't get that reference, because let's be real, not everyone can be is wonderful and blessed to be a JCVD fan. I'm going to say any guy who ever played a commentator in a Rocky movie, that would be a fun job to have. That commentator, like when he's fighting Ivan Drago.
So that'd be an interesting job to be a Rocky commentator. It would just be like Drago throws a left, another jab, uppercut, left, right. Rocky's still on his feet. Oh, he gets hit with another left, right, uppercut, roundhouse, spin kick, roundhouse, kick. Now it would be like that for 11 rounds. And then the 12th round would be like Rocky coming out of nowhere with a jab. 5 minutes later, Rocky wins by knockout. And wait, your Kumite one, you know what I love about that is there's no rules, there's no judging, there's no rounds. So basically, all these dudes have to do is sit in a chair, get nodded at, and then, occasionally you have to act like you disapprove of someone dying by shaking your head. And then when a guy wins, you just nod your head. So basically, you're just there to watch the fights, maybe shake your head a couple times. I mean, it's probably the easiest job on the planet, and I would like that as well.
What else is funny about the observation that there are essentially no rules whatsoever is that there's actually an official. You remember, because there was a guy who'd put his hand between them and he'd be like, "Fight!" Like a beginning of a round in Street Fighter 2 Alpha or something, or Mortal Kombat. The guy would say, "Fight," and then they would start to fight after they bow, right? But then later, like after Chun-Li kills a guy, it's up to the official to come over and check the guy's pulse and look up to the elder judges and be like, "Yeah, he's dead. The fight's over."
And then the elder judges nod their head or shake their head disapprovingly.
That's right, and they get up and turn their backs to him.
So
Wait, there was one rule. There was one rule. You couldn't get kicked out of the arena. If you did, you lost. And
that's really simple, though.
Remember, Donald Gibbs literally threw a guy off of it. Some little poor Chinese guy.
If I was fighting that Bolo Young or Chung Li, I would just jump off the thing and lose immediately.
That guy's pecs are the size of some of the opponents.
Yeah, they dance better than Terry Cruz's.
I just want to say that working as a bouncer at Demi Moore's kind of club, it was okay. It didn't really live up to expectations. It was actually kind of boring.
How was Burt Reynolds?
Burt Reynolds, he didn't really talk to me. He was kind of a douche. But honestly, when I went to when I applied at the Roadhouse where Kurt Russell worked, he was a blast to work with.
Well, he doesn't want to fight anybody.
I know.
He teaches people how to kind of coexist and be chill.
Learned so much from him.
Pain don't hurt.
Anyway, next question. Jar Jar Abrams asks, what are your thoughts on Sony scrapping the interview completely? And how much kimchi do you plan to eat in protest?
Oh, it's a two-part question. I'll adjust my answer accordingly.
First and foremost, I lived out in Korea for a year and I love kimchi, so I just eat it regardless.
Right.
So by them canceling it is an excuse for me to eat more kimchi. It's like watching a soccer game at 8 a.m. It gives you an excuse to day drink. So I'm just in kimchi heaven right now. And then with the movie, I don't know. Is it entertainment art? Are we getting punked? Is this really happening? Is it the North Koreans?
So
is it just some hacker in his basement?
I have a feeling we're going to be able to go see that movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna rent it though. I mean, why not get it on video on demand? Like, I'll go watch a big screen. I'll go watch Fury on the big screen, but the interview I think it'd be great at home. So I will gladly rent it when it comes out.
To be honest, just from watching the trailers, I didn't think that movie looked all that great. I'm a huge fan of Seth Rogen and James Franco, and this movie just seemed a little bit the trailer seemed a little bit underwhelming, and it's just this all kind of this fuss about it just makes me actually want to see it now.
So I've got an idea about why this movie was even made, because those guys are buddies, right? They've been buddies forever.
Yeah.
So I think that one night they were at a party and they were just strongly under the influence, and they realized how hilarious it would be if this scenario were to happen. And then the next day, they basically spoke to a producer and they said, "Let's make a movie out of it."
Is
I think that they were just
how This Is the End got made?
A moment of brilliance when they were hammered.
I don't know. It's kind of a shame that the movie got scrapped just because of a hacker threat. I don't know.
I don't think it really is totally. I think we're going to see it in theaters if we want to.
The biggest problem with me is I just don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes. So to weigh an opinion on it, I'm going to watch it. I'll rent it. I'm happy. I don't think it would have been a big blockbuster. People will watch it.
Right. All right.
Oh, wait. Let's get really serious for a moment. Like, Mark is starting to take a serious turn. I'm just going to follow on that. On a really serious note, what on earth is kimchi?
It's no joke. It's not to be underestimated.
It's pickled cabbage.
It's pickled spicy cabbage, and you really don't want to eat too much at a time. Otherwise, you'll be paying for it.
This sounds like something that Irish people eat, though.
It's a Korean delicacy. When I lived over there, people had kimchi refrigerators, freezers. There was big marketplaces that sold it once a year. Basically, any dish you get, you will have kimchi with it on the side.
Yeah.
Okay. It is glorious.
In that case, to answer the second part of the question, I would eat about 2 human fists worth of kimchi.
Oh, you will instantly regret that.
Andre the Giant fists or Kurt Russell fists?
Aren't they the same size? I mean, Kurt Russell has mitts like a mastiff pup, man.
Last question.
Ooh.
Gus Van Rant asks, guys, what was your favorite horror film of the year? Or what is your worst horror film of the year that entertained you?
So what is the worst horror film of the year that entertained us? You know what I think, John? I think it's probably Deliver Us from Evil.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a film that Eric Bana is walking around in $500 tailored shirts. There's a priest in it who smokes cigarettes and drinks, and he's really cool, and he probably wears one of the greatest leather jackets in screen history. And let me tell you about this scene in this film, Deliver Us from Evil. There is a deranged man with bodily scars all over his body. And he takes a dead body probably up 30 flights of stairs, because I don't think it's really possible for him to take the elevator with a dead body. He walks onto a roof with this dead body. I think he has a watch. I think a possessed man has a watch. And he sits on the top of a building and he waits for Eric Bana to drive home from work on his same route at the same time, So this deranged man can take this dead body, throw the dead body on top perfectly of Eric Banya's car as a message. I'm watching this movie, and it's supposed to seem pretty creepy, but I'm thinking about the logistics of it. Does no one see this deranged man on a roof? How does he time it? Like, does he know there's a draft coming in? Is he looking at his watch? Does he time it? The whole scene doesn't make sense. So I love that about this movie. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I love the movie for very different reasons. I didn't think so much as into the crazy person on a roof dropping a body onto a car. That seems like something that could really just go wrong during a mob hit. But what got me is that in the beginning of the movie, before it got supernatural, I just loved the characters. You got Banna Cop and you got Joel McHale Cop. That's Joel McHale from Community, folks, and he really is playing kind of Joel McHale from Community, but a little bit hardened if he was a SWAT cop.
And he can knife fight.
Oh, and he can knife fight. He loves to knife fight. And he loves to knife fight so much that the bad guy, who was maybe partially but not totally possessed, was so unnerved that he just ran. After Eric Bana looks at him, he's like, "Yo, Joel McHale, are you good with this?" And he just like looks at his knife like he wants to lick it. He's like, "I'm good." And then the bad guy just runs. That before that happened, that bad guy looked like he was ready to go to the death with McHale. And then Banna asks that question and just leaves his partner alone. And he's like, "Okay, this guy's clearly crazy. I'm out of here." He's almost as crazy as my buddy, who later in this movie is going to look at his possessed watch, walk up a possessed building, and drop a possessed body onto a car with perfect timing.
It is a very random movie.
All right. So Gus Van Rant, there you go. Delivers from Evil was the worst horror film that entertained us the most this year. And it was so Delivers from Evil also had another mention in your random movie awards this year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I talked about the random possessed watch with the partially possessed man throwing a dead body of a woman who was possessed onto a car of a man looking for those possessed people.
Yeah. Tell us about your random movie awards.
So the random movie awards, we aren't going to compete with the big websites on the planet. So John and I have worked our way around that. John writes about incredibly non-mainstream horror films. I write about Kurt Russell's shirtless sleeves. So every year I've started the Random Awards, where we just bring something different to the 2014 movie landscape. Instead of doing the top 10 movies, top 10 this, we find our favorite parts from 2014 films and we praise them. The little moments that people might miss, that people might not appreciate, we find them and we put them in our post.
It really is the little things that bring us all together. And in this case, it's the little nuanced things that only a geek would talk about for more than 3 minutes. And yeah, we pick the most ridiculous things that we can and just go off about them.
So it wouldn't be like a rehash of like Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So the first award that we came up with was most fun driving a tank since the A-Team award. Now, if you remember the A-Team, they're in a tank that's falling towards Earth, and they use the gun to steer themselves into a river.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Expendables 3, which was really disliked by critics, but I had a fun time with it. Randy Couture, who was a former MMA champ, and Dolph Lundgren, who's my Swedish
spirit animal.
They steal a tank, and they're just driving around, blowing away nondescript Euro trash villains away. And it's absolutely glorious to see these two dudes driving around in tanks, just lighting people up. So that was my most fun driving a tank since A-Team award.
They're basically behaving like a couple kids like in the 1970s who got their hands on a bunch of firecrackers. They're just walking around in the alleys of their neighborhood being jerks.
Yeah, so they're just lighting up these villains in this tank, and it was just a glorious moment. It didn't get the appreciation it deserved.
So, okay, I can appreciate not picking Fury just because of we'll discredit that tank for Shia LaBeouf. And Indiana Jones was too old. Indiana Jones: Last Crusade, great tank scene. Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones: Last Crusade.
He
that
didn't really
fight
drive
on the tank.
much though, if I remember correctly, right?
What's that?
He didn't really drive it much though. He was just kind of hanging off it. Doesn't
No, but but it was a really fun tank driving scene.
Right,
I'm not saying Indy was driving the tank. It's just fun. Someone had to be driving the tank.
Well, actually,
it wasn't a magic tank.
That won my random awards of '89. Indy driving
Of
that tank.
89. But what about now? Maybe this didn't get thought of, or maybe we were really just trying to show some love to the Expendables because those are fun movies. But what about Fast and Furious 6? Because even from the trailer, everyone remembers when Ludacris says, "Guys, they got a tank."
Hey, that was last year's random award winner.
Was that last year? That
was last year. Yeah, the tank was about to crush Tyrese's car. Tyrese jumps out onto Paul Walker's car. It was glory, and it won pretty much every 2013 award.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I was going on technicality because this actually said most fun driving a tank scene since the A-Team award.
Oh.
I think I got you there.
Uh-oh. Does that mean we get to call it a mulligan on a tie? Because it wasn't it technically wasn't a 2014 award with that title. Like,
I just want to know,
but you know what,
is this
though?
award
In
shaped
Fast
like
6, though, in Fast 6, they were crushing pedestrians, and the people inside that tank didn't really seem that into it. It was just a jerky bad guy. So I feel like Lundgren and Couture were legitimately enjoying themselves while they committed wholesale murder.
Okay. Well, they committed wholesale murder. Okay. Again, it's all about embracing the little stuff, folks.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for.
And then the next award is best usage of a shoe and best usage of a fish. So both these awards go to Snowpiercer, which is a beautiful film. It is my second favorite film of the year. The best is Boyhood, but the next is Snowpiercer. And there's this bonkers scene where Tilda Swinton is talking about how the people in the back of the train are the shoe, and they should know where they fit. And eventually a shoe gets put on a person's head, and the moment is glorious. And then the best usage of a fish award is where Chris Evans and his crew on Snowpiercer, they're leading their way through a revolt, and they come across these axe-wielding maniacs who show them a fish, stick their axe in a fish, and then a huge battle commences. So Snowpiercer absolutely uses the fish and shoe to the best.
I have actually come up with two awards that get the exact same recipient as your awards. And one of them, for the best use of a shoe award, I have Best Medically Unnecessary Amputation Award. Because as a consequence for throwing that shoe, the guy had to stick his arm outside for 7 minutes of the Snowpiercer, and it frostbit his arm, and then they shattered it with a hammer. That is not an appropriate punishment for throwing a shoe.
Honestly, who throws a shoe, though?
But that's from Austin Powers. Who throws a shoe?
Austin Powers won that award in '97.
That's right. When the big assassin comes in like room service and he lifts up the silver dome over the meal and it's a shoe and he just frisbees him in the head. It just ka-thunk. It's not even like a weapon. It's just demoralizing.
Who throws a
shoe?
He's gonna have a headache in the morning, though.
Okay, all right.
Austin Powers is gonna be hurting.
Other one. So best usage of a fish award. Again, in the scene, they're dipping their axe heads into, I don't know, a big salmon. They're just sinking the whole blade into a salmon. Right in front of the people who everybody knows in the room we're all about to fight to the death, but they're going to pause for this. I'm calling that the best way to drop your guard in front of Captain America, who's a pretty big dude. Award. Wow. I mean, why would you disable yourself like that in front of Captain America? I don't care if he hasn't been eaten well because he was on the Snowpiercer. Chris Evans is a pretty sizable dude. He's clearly leading all these people. He's within drop kick distance, and this guy's sinking his axe blade into a salmon.
I remember we were talking about this once, John, and you mentioned that if a guy has an axe and he sticks it into a fish, you're going to tackle the guy when his axe is in that fish.
I'm going to tackle him or I'm going to drop kick him in the head. It's one or the other. Drop kick. As fast as a Liam Neeson throat chop. Okay, well, I'm probably not that fast, but
so moving on from throat chops, we're going to go to something very random, which is the best exchange between two people in a field award. Now, there's a little movie out there that was released by Alamo Drafthouse, directed by Ben Wheatley, and it's called A Field in England. There's a scene in this movie which is absolutely bonkers, but it goes like this. It's between this guy, Friend, and this guy, Jacob. And it goes like this. When you get to the alehouse, see a way to get a message to my wife. Anything, friend, anything. Tell her that I hate her. Tell her that I did burn her father's barn. 'Twas payment for forcing our marriage. Tell her I loved her sister, who I had many times from behind, like a beautiful prize sow. Then the other guy's like, if I'd have known that, I would have paid you more respect, brother. So I'm watching this absolutely trippy film by this great director, and this scene comes out of nowhere, and it just cracked me up. It is one of the most random exchanges in a black and white film about the English Civil War that you'll ever see or hear.
I have very little to say about this other than one. I can't think of very many memorable scenes that take place in a field in 2014 movies. The other is, why a beautiful prize sow? Does that really make this analogy any more forgivable?
Well,
because he's talking about sodomizing a pig.
There's ugly sows. Like they're not all pretty.
I mean, I guess just ask the judges. I mean, anytime you do these pig contests, I'm sure they are. Like, I know nothing about professional pig judging, so I can't weigh in on this.
Like, if I told you that I had your sister, forgive anyone who has a sister out there when I'm saying this, but if I said I had your sister from behind like a beautiful prize sow, would it really change the tone of the statement that it was a beautiful prize sow?
Yeah, we wouldn't be arguing that word. I guess it kind of. I guess he's making it more visual. They say, "Show me, don't tell me." So he's kind of explaining something right there.
It still has the blue ribbon on it from the country fair.
Now, obviously, if you said somebody, maybe a fight would break out. So that segues us into our next one, which is best fight of the year, and that is between Ed Norton and Michael Keaton and their somewhat fight in Birdman, while Edward Norton is in his skivvies.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture you have on the website, and it's very Edward Norton looks very svelte here.
I was so happy to watch this movie because if you remember Primal Fear, Fight Club, American History X, Norton had such a great run, and I would watch everything he did. Death to Smoochie was an event, so it's really cool to see him back in Oscar talk with this fantastic character. You got to watch Birdman, but it was a really random fight. You know, they got bloodied up a little bit, but I just had to add Norton in my list.
So I'm just wondering now for that choice. Why were we skipping the Raid 2 Brick Mansions, Godzilla versus the Muto Monster, Master Splinter versus the Foot Clan, or John Wick versus 60 Russian puppy killers?
Was Ed Norton in any of those?
No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. I mean, unless he played Russian number 48. Who
was he in the Godzilla suit?
Well, we don't know that for sure.
It was just so random and weird and unexpected, and I just love the fight. So,
all right.
And then, well, actually, you were talking about Godzilla. For best nap of the year goes to Godzilla. Listen, Godzilla is not a good film. The human characters are really bad, but the part I love about it is that Godzilla gets awoken by these massive jerks. Godzilla swims groggily next to some boats, fights these jerks, wins, takes a nap, wakes up, gets kind of groggy, jumps back in the ocean, and swims back to wherever he chills at, wherever his crib is. So we're watching this movie, and when Godzilla lays down, I didn't think he was dead for an instant. I just looked over at my wife, and I was like, I think he's taking a nap. and then he wakes up and swims away. It's just, what movies have napping giant lizards?
Not many movies really make a big deal out of naps. I mean, you know what movie did a great nap? I mean, okay, Godzilla did a great sleeper cell nap. Like, we didn't know he was napping, or it was supposed to be a surprise, that is. Captain Ron's nap.
Oh yeah,
Captain Ron is taking a nap, right? The Kurt Russell, of course, he sneaks into everything that we have to talk about. Captain Ron is taking a nap and he has an eye patch, but he puts the eye patch over his good eye while he's taking a nap. But while he's napping, his dead eye is kind of open. And the kid of the family that's chartering, they come down and the kid sees him and he tells the family that he's dead. And then they're poking him with the stick. And when he wakes up, he just in a panic moves the eye patch to the bad eye. But I mean, that must be the best nap scene actually ever. If we took out the 21st.
Do you guys remember Major Payne? How he always slept with his eyes open.
Was that Damon Wayans? Was that Damon Wayans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like his character always slept with his eyes open. It just whenever it showed him sleeping, he would just he's just lying there in bed, just staring up in the ceiling, apparently sleeping.
Creepy like Captain Ron.
1 tubby, 2 tubby. Remember that scene on Maverick where Mel Gibson lays down on the ground and he's getting all comfortable and Jodie Foster's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm taking a nap." She thinks he's listening for something. All right. Well, that leads us on to actually that doesn't lead us on to, but I'm gonna do this one. Is the best usage of mustaches and walruses award, and that is going to go to Kevin Smith's Tusk. Tusk is a very weird film. It's a film about a guy being turned into a walrus, and it features unnecessary monologues, A-list cameos, body transmorphism. And I kind of loved it. It was just so weird and so odd. And Justin Long is rocking the jerkiest mustache. And I loved it. I actually really liked Tusk, so I had to give it the award.
Okay, one, in 2014, I don't think there was a lot of competition for best use of a walrus in a film. But two, just with this mustache, let's just be clear. Justin Long is no Tom Selleck. He is not somebody who can just pull off a mustache. And his mustache looks so horribly out of place and creepy, like the brother in Napoleon Dynamite. Like this is
let's not go that far.
This is not an awesome Daniel Day-Lewis Gangs of New York Bill the Butcher mustache. This is a creepy, unfull, stringy mess. And then he has a hot girlfriend somehow.
Well, that's every Kevin Smith film, if you think about it.
Unreasonably hot. Yeah, it's true. And every sitcom ever. You got the dad who's 6 feet tall and 290 pounds, and he has some wife who looks like she just stepped off a runway.
And he has this massive issue about, I don't know, the pots. And then she's like, "Oh, Henry."
I don't know. I appreciate the fact that Justin Long stepped out of his comfort zone here. I'm not talking about his acting. I'm talking about his mustache. It it's not the best looking mustache, but he did it anyway. He didn't really care.
I'm not big on facial hair hate because it's not their fault.
Yeah,
they're stuck with this face. That's what they're gonna get, and he went for it. And I think he turned out a pretty good twerpy mustache. If he had a Tom Selleck mustache, that would kind of go against his character because that would give him 90+ points of confidence with a fantastic mustache.
Yeah. He, honestly, I'm looking at the picture right now. If he just kind of combed it a little bit, it just looks a little bit unkempt. Really,
I'm sorry. As the movie stands, he looked like a Megan's Law violator, and if he combed it, he'd look like a well-groomed Megan's Law violator.
I'm just saying, his mustache could probably look really good if he just combed it a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, extra award is the What on Earth Happened to Haley Joel Osment award, and we see him in this movie. We haven't seen him since The Sixth Sense and Pay It Forward.
Yeah, and and he's in his next film. It's weird how he popped up again. I kind of like that though. I feel like he went off, had a normal life, was like, I'm going to come back to acting now, and now he's in Kevin Smith films.
Yeah. It worked.
Yeah, no, he was good, man. And so talking about mustaches, I'm going to talk about some of the waviest hair of the year, and this is the Tim Riggins Doppelganger Award. So Tim Riggins was played by Taylor Kitsch in Friday Night Lights, and he had the iconic long hair. So as my wife and I were watching Captain America Winter Soldier, we kept hoping the Winter Soldier was Tim Riggins in disguise. It wasn't, but, one can hope.
So I don't know who that is, and is that the character's name, Tim Riggins?
Yeah, it's Taylor Kitsch, and he plays Tim Riggins, who is just this fullback football player.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was IMDbing Tim Riggins trying to figure this out, and I'm coming up with nothing. I don't even know what to make of it.
No, he kind of does look like him. It's just, it's just the long hair, really, and the dreamy eyes. Really.
The droopy eyes.
Yeah.
And then the next award is Best Evil Mirror in a WWE produced film, and I gave that to Oculus.
Okay, how many possible nominees were there for that particular award?
Okay, this is the award for the only evil mirror in a WWE produced film.
Not just any movie, but it has to be a WWE produced film.
Well, listen, the reason I write that is that this movie was a total surprise for me. I saw that it was produced by WWE, so I did not have that high expectations. But then I watched it, and it blew me away. And it might even be my favorite horror film of the year. And this mirror was just an absolute... I wouldn't even call it a jerk. I mean, it's a jerk because it messes with people, but it's evil. Like, it doesn't have the Toby vibe. There's no name. Its name isn't, Steve. It's just a pain in the butt, evil mirror, and it facilitates one of the best horror films of the year.
And even the other evil mirror moments in films, whether it's a whole movie or just a scene. Evil Dead 2, great evil mirror scene. Mirrors with Amy Smart and Kiefer Sutherland, not a great movie. It had some good scares, but not a great evil mirror movie. And then it was just all the mirrors that were evil, so it was nondescript. So this movie really made the evil mirror function as a serious device and not just a mechanism for a jump scare.
Now, I have a question. Why couldn't they have put the mirror in 20 feet of concrete?
Because, Mark, then we wouldn't have had this movie. So here's the theory, okay? Now, a lot of times people come up with questions like that for me about movies, about how incredible the scenario is. And I say, well, look, let's just imagine that the scenario of this evil mirror, in this case, happened around the world in the last 100 years 100 times. Well, maybe 99 people thought to encase it in a few tons of cement. We're watching the one story of the people who didn't think of that. And 1 in 100 who didn't think of that is totally reasonable in a world where there's 100 evil mirror scenarios. And all of a sudden, it's not incredible that they didn't think of it.
I feel like that concept applies to every horror movie, though. Not necessarily mirrors.
It applies to everything, period.
Yeah.
It's John's metaphysical theory of movie excellence. And in action movies, you know how everything goes perfect? Well, what if all that action happened to one person 1,000 different times? One of those 1,000 times, they might have gotten everything right.
So I have a question, guys. What would happen if they put a door on the only entrance to Mordor in Lord of the Rings?
I guess one simply would walk into Mordor.
Yeah. He would just have to wait in line.
No, I watched that film, and the only way that they can kill Sauron is to throw the ring into massive lava, and they just walk right in. Like, if I was one of the orcs, I would be like, listen, Sauron, my cousin Steve, he builds great doors. We'll build a door. We'll put a rock in front of it. We'll have an ogre sit on it. We're safe. We're good. We're going to win.
Sauron's like, no, we don't need it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just... yeah, so I kind of that boggles my mind. And so after that outburst, we have the Best Arm Grab Award, and I'm giving that to the Winter Soldier. There's a scene where Captain America grabs Black Widow's arm, and it's not like a Roger Moore Bond forceful arm grab. It's more of like, hey, we're teammates, and I'm talking to you because we're in some serious business right now.
Does the arm grab, like, have you guys ever tried to do that in real life? Like,
No.
Really?
Really? No, that's for people who make very poor decisions, because you're going to get slapped and every girl's going to talk about you in the worst way.
That's why I added this one, because it was just like a teammate type thing. It wasn't like a forceful. It was more of like, hey, we got to get on the same page here.
Yeah.
And I have to grab your arm to get this point across.
Well, I mean, when he did it, though, he grabbed her arm and he kind of stepped into her and he pulled her into him. It was almost like a kiss was about to happen. And when you saw her face, she wasn't looking like, WTF is going on? What are you doing grabbing my arm, bro? It was more like, he has something serious to say. I'm going to gaze into his beautiful Chris Evans eyes. Yeah, and so he really owned that, Yeah,
they were on the same page, and I think it was some of the best arm grab acting I've ever seen in my life.
So
now, in a close second, we have the one from Divergent. But this arm grab was more like, hey, you're not up to snuff, and you need to lock it down. You need to focus. You need to become I I saw the movie, but I don't remember what function or faction they were in. But it was a close second. But just by looking at this picture, I can see in the guy's eyes, he's like, damn it, I'm not doing this as good as Chris Evans is right now.
He is grabbing her arm, and her arm looks like a limp noodle. Like, he's not even really grabbing it. I mean, and she's looking at him like he's just telling her a joke. There's no urgency in that arm grab whatsoever.
So, guys, let me ask you, if Chris Evans did the arm grab to you, how would you respond?
I'd punch him in the throat like Liam Neeson.
No.
Because no dude is arm grabbing me.
I feel like you would fall in love with him. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like what. I think it'd be more like an arm around the shoulder to talk like that. But say someone grabs me by the arm, I don't know. And then the next one I have is these two need to join forces award, and that's Eva Green's character from 300, and then Emily Blunt's character from Edge of Tomorrow. They were just the two baddest characters of 2014, and I'd love to see like a Bill and Ted's type adventure where Eva Green goes to the future in a phone box, meets up with Emily Blunt, they ditch Tom Cruise, and then they fight that giant creature to save the world.
I'd watch it.
So, I mean, you got me. So when I thought of that, and don't ask me why, this came to me immediately. These two need to join forces award. I thought of Smaug the Dragon and Zac Efron, and it would be like a more adult, edgy version of the Neverending Story.
So Zac Efron from Neighbors and Smaug from...
So is Zac Efron riding Smaug like all shirtless, like showing his six pack, and Smaug is just like, "Yo, get off me, bro!" Like,
but instead of saying like "I'm a luck dragon," he's saying "I am death" or something like that. Isn't that what he says? Like, "I am death, I am destruction,
I am fury, I am whirling a dervish." Of
and meanwhile,
smoke.
You got Addison, you got Zac Efron on there, and he's like, "Hey, Addison Timlin, you were great for now, but get out of here. There's a cute hipster a block up there. I got to pick up on my Smaug."
On my Smaug?
On my Smaug. He's like texting her like, "Sorry, OMW, Smaug is running late."
All right, so the next one is Best World War II Haircut, which goes to Brad Pitt from Fury. And I loved it. I love Fury. I thought it was a great film. The director, David Ayer, directed End of Watch, and he wrote Training Day. He also directed another movie I really like. But in Fury, Brad Pitt's hair is immaculate, even as he's being surrounded by the SS and just wiping him away. So that's easily the best hair of the year.
I don't think I've ever seen his hair like kind of disheveled. Like, it's always like perfectly coiffed. Like
even in Legends of the Fall, when he had the long hair and he was doing that moment where he's depressed and at sea, it still looked, hey man, it's pretty strategic.
Even in Fight Club, where he always looked like he licked an electrical socket, it was always so perfectly, recklessly disheveled that
his hair was perfectly shocked.
Yeah, like it looked awesome. It was never going in a bad direction. It was just perfect.
Speaking of Fury, the director, he's also directing Suicide Squad that's coming out soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a DC property, a bunch of jerky villains who go on a Dirty Dozen type mission to wipe out a jerky despot in some country. So what I did was I just put together my 2014 Suicide Squad of villains, and it would be directed by David Ayer, and it would feature, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's a movie out there called Cheap Thrills, and David Koechner and David Koechner's from Anchorman, Sarah Paxton's from The Innkeepers, Shark Night. What they do is they just they bring in these two people that are going through hard times, and they go through this escalating night of dares for money, and it just pushes these two nice men to the brink of humanity. So I'm just thinking these two would love to join a suicide mission because they would love the thrill. It'd be a good thrill. It wouldn't be a cheap thrill. It would be a violent thrill. They'd be betting the whole time. They could go undercover. They got a good scheme together. So I would love to have them on my side on a Suicide Squad mission. Oh, and by the way, Suicide Squad is featuring like the big cast. They have, who is it? Jared Leto as Joker, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Tom Hardy as Phlegm Man, Jai Courtney as the Belcher,
Will Smith.
I'm making these up now. Okay. I don't know the name of these guys.
No, Will Smith is Deadshot, right?
Deadshot, yeah, Deadshot. So yeah, my first ones would be Violet and Colin from Cheap Thrills.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I just have I have a couple that I'd really like to add to that list, to be honest. But first, let's go through some honorable mentions. Just some quick honorable mentions. Let's say John Wick. Before the Russians killed his dog, because he was a sympathetic hitman protagonist in the movie in a way, because they killed the dog. It was his connection to his wife, and so we were kind of rooting for him. But all those Russians were afraid of him for a reason, and it's because before he had a dog, I'll bet he was pretty much just a smooth jerk. who is still good at killing Russians and anybody else who got in his way.
So
Sorry
you call
to our
him
Russian listeners.
You call him when you have to kill the boogeyman. So if you're going on a suicide mission, you want John Wick there.
You want
pre-puppy.
John Wick
Pre-puppy death.
Pre-puppy. Because otherwise you'd have to get John Wick a puppy and then tell the boogeyman where it was so that the boogeyman could hurt it and chew him up. So
I have a true wild card for this list. I'm adding Chris O'Dowd from Cuban Fury. And I was going to add him for this other movie, but it'd be a terrible spoiler. So I'm just adding Chris O'Dowd. In the movie Cuban Fury, he's just an absolute turd. He's really gross, and he says the grossest things, but he actually has some pretty good dance moves. I think he'd just be a good survivor on the squad. Everyone needs that gross dude that gets killed first. So I'm adding Chris O'Dowd from Cuban Fury to my list.
I'm not adding a specific person. I'm gonna add a vehicle. This is what I think they should all be riding around in. The Suicide Squad should be riding around in Nick Fury's SUV from Captain America 2. Seriously, that SUV, you had a whole army. It's just trying to take down Nick Fury, and the whole time, the AC is going. He's got the radio, and it's just annoyed. He's not he's never just freaking out. He's just oh, come on. It's just
I feel like it's happened every week to him.
Yeah, I feel that should be their ride.
And they need some kind of management, but I imagine that it's horribly mismanaged. And so I'm going to go with the college girl drug dealer from 22 Jump Street as the ringleader. That's the girl who gets into the fist fight with Jonah Hill, and they keep wondering, were you about to kiss me? No, I wasn't going to kiss you. And then he punches her in the face, and then she starts beating the crap out of him.
I mean, she built a pretty good empire. So I would love to see her part of this squad. Just imagine her trading barbs with. So Willem Dafoe from Grand Budapest Hotel. He plays this kind of wolfman-teethed murderer who loves to sled and hunt down and kill Jeff Goldblum. So I would love to see these two together in a Nick Fury's vehicle driving around with John Wick pre-puppy death.
Or they could all ride on the back of Smog. Again, we come back to Smog.
Smog wouldn't fit in the SUV, Lovingood.
No, they're going to ride on him, not in the stupid SUV.
Oh, no, what's safer, Smog or that SUV?
Depends on the state.
Really. Do you have any idea how much insurance is on a Smaug?
Yeah.
And I think finishing up that group is Eva Green from SimCity, A Dame to Kill For. I think you just kind of walk her in anywhere, and people are like, oh, yeah, do what you want.
They just let her in. She's like, yeah. By the way, here are my 8 friends in my 400-foot dragon. Can they come in? Oh, yeah, as long as you're coming. Cool.
And it's movie over.
It's like the big bouncer, they're with you? Okay, just a nod.
The big bouncer. I guess my honorable mentions would be Guy Pearce from The Rover. He's just really dirty, and he survives in the wasteland of Australia. And then Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. The dude travels in the middle of nowhere. He has his arrow that can wipe out anybody. He's kind of an anti-hero, but you like him, so he'd be perfect on the crew. So that's how we're finishing up our Suicide Squad.
All right.
Closing strong with the Rooker.
Well, that wraps up the random awards and also wraps up our podcast because we're about that time. And, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts to add before we sign off?
How many boards could the Babadooks hoard if the Babadook hordes got bored?
Toby's a jerk.
Toby is a jerk. I'm glad we all came to a consensus about that.
I don't like those movies. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for listening. Tune in next week when John shares his thoughts about the first 100 times he watched Roadhouse.
He's actually referring to both Johns here because we both watched it at least 100 times. Yep. All right. And as always, you can check out the articles we discussed today on moviesfilmsandflicks.com. And also just tune in for more articles. Like I'm just assuming you guys are going to post more articles on the website.
Yeah, I got a couple things. I got a couple things planned.
Right. Sure, we're gonna keep writing. It's like that's like the big pitch. It's like, I guess you guys are gonna have more articles, right? It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. We'll drum something.
I don't know your schedule.
Note to self, John. We need to start writing tomorrow.
Yeah, like ASAP. We aren't done with this.
Well, no, actually, I have the Random Awards Part 2 coming up, and then I have the Best Characters of 2014. So just keep your eyes out for that. And we're moviesfilmsflix.com. Moviesfilmsflix.com.
All right. Well, I've been your host, John Losova. For John Levigood and Mark Hoffmeyer, we'll see you guys later.
Hey.
Above the target. T-minus 5 seconds till shark drop. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the shark! Go! Go! Go!
This podcast is a Shark Dropper Studios production.